Students, today we see about this introduction to genetic basis of evolution. Now, up till now, we had studied the border of the evolution, and now we go to the center. So, before that, we had seen the adaptation, and then I had taken this part of evolution. So, the evolution is taking place, that is, the changes in the structure. But how this structure is getting changed, that we study because of mutation, variation. Then some scientists studied evolution, that is called as neo-Darwinism. So they get under up to the mutation, natural selection, isolation, then origin of new species. So from the periphery, now we are getting the internal part or basic part of the evolution. In the same sequence, today we start the genetic basis of evolution. Means genetically, what changes are taking place during the course of evolution. So, first part in this series is the speciation. Species. In the classification, we studied that phylum, class, order, genus, and species. So, what is this species? The classes of organism called species have been recognized for a long time, but there has been and still is much confusion as to what a species really is. So, it can be introduced as a fundamental biological unit of taxonomy as well as of evolution. So, species has an old devious history and has been variously defined by the scientists. So, what is this actually? Even up to the 19th century, species were regarded to be man made categories of thought, but with no stability of characteristic. So, here when we go to the species, so there means must be a genus and species. A particular characteristics are there. So we see now the morphological concept of basis. What it actually morphological basis? A group of individuals. Listen very carefully. A group of individuals that resemble each other. Similar. The meaning is the individuals are there means number of animals are there which resemble each other in most of their visible or morphological characters, means they are similar in their morphological characters, means externally. What characters are they have? Sex and variety of, for variety, that the adjacent local populations within the group differ only in variable characters that ingrades marginally. So actually it is not so easy to understand this definition. But here you just keep in mind a group of individuals that resemble each other in most of their visible or morphological characteristics. The criteria is not applicable in all cases, and very often greater morphological differences are seen among the individuals of a single population or in between non-specific population. So here, so the taxonomists were unable to settle as to what should be the degree of distinction between the two allopatric population that may be treated as a distinct species. Okay, now this is in the text. This is very long. You just keep in mind the main points. Now we switch over to the genetic concept of species. So how we called a particular species in a genetic view. That is important. Genetic concept of a species. So when we called a particular group of individuals resemble each other in most of their visible or morphological characters. So they are similar. So similar means what similar? So that will be C one by one. First one, that is the on the basis of gene, genetic concept. Locy in 1980 and some other genetics defined species purely on the genetic basis. According to the concept, a species is a group of genetically identical individual. Very simple. A species is a group of genetically identical individuals. So genetically identical means that gene structure is very similar to each other. Okay. So this is the genetic basis. Then biological concept. What biological concept says? So this Dobzhansky in 1937 and Mayer in 1942 put forward the theory. Species are the most inclusive Mendelian populations which share in common gene pool. Again, the thing is same. Gene pool, common gene pool means the common gene they get ancestrate from the other. That is the biological concept. But Stresemann had defined as a species is as comprising those forms which have diverged physiologically from the related forms to the extent that they come together again without interbreeding. That is, these have become reproductively isolated. So naturally, gene is the same, but reproductively they isolate means gene is transferred from one generation to other generation. So Mayer has said species is an array of actually or potentially interbreeding natural populations that are reproductively isolated from each other groups under natural condition. So overall speaking about this is that they have similar genetic identity. So next we see the general characteristics of a species. What general characteristics they are having? Members of species exhibit distinctive feature in common, in which these are different from all other groups. Then intermediate or transitional forms between the species are usually not found in, that is, species are reproductively isolated naturally. Members of separate species do not actually interbreed, so that natural hybrids of the species are either totally absent or very rare. Even if the hybrids are produced artificially, these are usually sterile. Allied species usually have separate but adjoining territories. So, these are the general characters of the species. Now, you when see the classification part, suppose for example, human being. What happened in the human being? Just we write in the classification, that is the phylum Quadrida, class mammals, genus Homo, and species is sapien. Now sapien means now we individual, but Homo erectus, Homo this genus is same, but earlier man, that is erectus, human being is there, but slightly different characteristics are there. Now we Homo sapiens are having the similar character. So that why the species when we term having the similarity or common gene pool is there. Then sublink species. Sublink species are defined as the sympatric populations that are morphologically similar. See, morphologically similar, if not identical, but are reproductively isolated. That is, these are species according to the biological species concept, but are morphologically indistinct. So, the morphologically they have some changes. For example, a number of species of mosquitoes of the genus Anopheles were found to be, see here, mosquito is there, genus is Anopheles. Okay. Now the sublink species are Anopheles maculipennis, Anopheles atroparanus, Anopheles labraki, Anopheles shorovi, Anopheles sublimus were all found to exhibit marked similarity in the adult structure and were described under the same species, that is the Anopheles. So this is called as sibling species. Now the recognition of sibling species. How we recognize this? So they resemble in their morphological details and differences. Whatsoever observed are minor, but these exhibit differences in their habits, ecology, and physiology. See, sibling species are there, they are different, morphologically same, but these exhibit differences in their habits, ecology, and physiology. Then, significance. These provide an opportunity to test the validity of biological species concept. These are of great practical importance in applied biology, medical entomology, and in agriculture pest control. See how these are important. Then, sibling species help in understanding the process of speciation. So, by the study of the genes of this, we can go to this process. Okay. Then, so this is all about the sibling species. Now, DIM. This is the new name, DIM. A DIM is commonly or potentially interbreeding individuals at a given locality which share in a single gene pool. That is, they are genetically similar animals. Interbreeding means what happened? Actually, reproduction is taking place in between the same related population. That is called as interbreeding. So, in this case, there is no any regenerating characteristics appear in the genes because they share the common gene of the common family. That is called as interbreeding. So DIM is the smallest population unit which is able to interbreed with other DIMs of the species. So the interbreeding is not a good thing in the population. Now, this is the last part of the today's lecture. So the DIM lives in an area where conditions are most suitable for life, and the areas of habitat are separated by the regions of unsuitable conditions. So these individuals can live more successfully under conditions that are optimal for their existence, and these are forced to fan out in such localities under the pressure of struggle for existence. So this is about the DIM. Now, types of speciation. Types of speciation. So this is the theoretical part. Keep in mind, students. So you have to read more than 4 5 times. Then you can very well understand. If you read very carefully, you will get the idea of all these things. Now, the types of speciation means okay, next time we will see these types of speciation.